write me a note saying...
Hush.
Huh?
Well, if you want to rely on your own immune system to clear up your fever, then you'll have to tough it out. Hang in there, Traveler! Are you gonna puke? Paimon can get you a paper bag!
Huh?
As long as you're tough enough to get through the nausea and dizziness caused by the high fever, you'll be right as rain after just a few days' rest.
And if I'm not tough enough?
Hey! Wake up! Wake up! Put it this way.
I think maybe you'll take that...
Oh, of course. Here, it's still warm.
It's so bitter.
Diễn trò. Diễn trò chủ nít.
All done. Great job, you two. That kid really doesn't know what's good for him. His mother's a guard here. She's been working back-to-back shifts lately. But unfortunately, his father's away on a business trip right now. He was quite happy at first. He seemed to think that the Fortress of Meripede would be all funny. So you made us put on that act just to scare a kid into taking his medicine? That's a pretty sneak. It's a technique I learned from my teacher. Oh, you had a teacher? Was she a Melazine doctor too? She was human. She passed away alone. Oh, it's fine. She was a traveling doctor. And since she didn't have a clinic, she'd go out and visit her patients wherever they were. She used to say, if you can scare the little brats into taking their medicine, you won't have to... She sounds like a pretty strict. Strange way for a doctor to... wow, yep. Oh, why does it almost sound... Oh, because I'm a doctor who looked... Oh, that's actually... my next picture thing! Onto the...
Theo nhiệm vụ nào?
Well, thanks. Should we get some... they're... Confidential? That's fine. Wait, you mean... my pick... Considering even if you want to find out? The ingredients are ready. First we... yeah! Next up,
Chào bạn mới tham gia live của mình.
Wait, are those from Fontimer Aberrant? Finally, Blue meets me.
Hết rồi vô là...
And yesterday in the production zone, Seedwing really does have the...
Tạo thành món ăn gì đây? Chiêu đó. Ở dưới nữa ta. Ở dưới nữa.
Just the one today. The serial numbers...
Sounds good. I'll make sure it gets delivered.
Sounds like they're talking in code. Thanks for your help.
Oh, it's no trouble at all. I only wish I could do more. You work so hard for all our sake.
That won't do.
All right.
Well, I'm done with work for today. Thanks for helping out, you two. Seems like the guards and staff here have a lot of respect for you, Seedream.
Head nurse, please, wait. I'm sorry to disturb you this late at night, but I think...
Okay, just relax and catch your breath. What's
the guard at the observation ward, Odilon, he told me to pass on a message to you.
Already? You were right to tell me. I'll have to examine him and make sure he's well before we discharge him. Looks like we've got one job as medical assistants left. We'll come with...
Người bị thương hồi nãy đã xảy ra vấn đề. nhầm thăm cái tụng nhầm đó. Nơi cao.
Ah, head nurse, you're finally here. I'm so sorry for all the trouble I've caused you, but I believe I've now made a full after giving it some thought. I'm sure that I was probably just seeing things. It's stress-related, I imagine.
I totally understand. Still, I have to give you an examination before I can discharge you.
Again, so sorry. I was in such a state this morning, I barely recall anything. Would you mind taking me through it again?
Oh, not at all. It's a lot to remember. First up, we have a little cognitive test.
Như thằng này
Just
giống như thằng khác
concentrate
đó
and
mà.
you'll be fine.
Không phải thằng
To start
sáng.
with, which finger am I holding up?
Your pinky.
All right, all indicators. So it was a stress-induced hallucination after all? Well, we've certainly had previous cases of mental illness caused by overwork, which is why I carefully observe everyone in the production zone.
Please, head nurse, you shouldn't blame yourself. I'm just still adapting, that's all. Pushed myself too hard, and I guess thanks for looking after me. I'll be as good as new after a good night's sleep.
It can be difficult to relax in an I suggest you take 2 days off to focus on your recovery.
Great. I can't...
Mr. Odilon, could you...
Of course. I'm on guard duty in the administrative area tonight.
Guess you're finally done for the day now, huh? Yep.
Các bạn nếu mình bấm qua nhanh, nếu mà các bạn muốn có đọc bình luận để mình bấm chậm.
Oh, no rush. Seriously, tomorrow it is then. Good night. Oh, don't you worry. We will. After a productive day of work, we're both gonna sleep like a log. Yeah, sleep tight, Seedream. See you tomorrow.
Win tomorrow. Nhậm Long cháu Phụng. Ôi, Nguyên Thạch. Không có Nguyên Thạch. Sẽ dịch chuyển thời gian đến 8 giờ sáng ngày hôm sau. Xin cảm ơn bạn Simeo đã gửi hoa hồng cho mình nhé.
Paimon really did sleep like a log. Let's go find Seedream.
What I see.
Whoa! How is the infirmary even busier than yesterday? Good morning, Traveler and Paimon. I have a few people here for a checkup, so you might need to wait for a while. No problem. Anything we can do to help? There's a bit of a complicated situation here. I'm still getting to the bottom of it myself.
You have to believe me. I'm telling the truth.
Không thể nói dối.
You're in a medical facility. Keep it down.
Please, listen to me. I'm not Gaston. I'm Uy.
You're a horrible liar, you know that?
You mean because of the way I look? I don't know what happened.
I brought you here to figure out what's going on.
This is nuts. Yesterday's been...
Morning, Your Grace. What's going on?
Remember the case I mentioned yesterday?
That's even weirder than what that guy was saying yesterday.
The thing is, none of them have been...
And we thought yesterday was...
We've compiled their statements. Have a look.
Wait.
Release? Interesting. The inmates they spoke of in their statements appear to all be
I noticed that too. If that's their plan, they're underestimating us a little.
All the more reason to be cautious. Lumberzar, check the release list for today and make sure no one gets processed. We're gonna need an excuse, though. Just say we're out of forms, and that we're furiously printing more as we speak.
I'm on it.
It's conceivable that our group of serious offenders somehow found a way to switch places with inmates who are about to be released.
We did consider that possibility. But I mean, just look at them. They match the warrants, period. How could there have been a switch?
Only if they're dead ringers for the inmates due for release, I suppose. I gave you that name list yesterday to assist in your...
Yes, the inmates' mugshots were attached to the list. The first thing I did was check for lookup. The only other thing that stands out to me is that their voices...
Oh, really?
Give me a moment. I think I have... I know, it's not time to change your dressing yet, but please bear with me. Huh? Isn't that the... This should be Honore. He has very severe facial ulcers, which require an operation in the hospital at the Court of Fontaine. I authorized him...
Yes, like I told you. I'm not Potton. I'm Honore.
So there has been a swap. Well, I can see what happened in Potton's case. But how do you explain...
No, I believe it was their faces that got switched. The method is a bit like replacing a tooth. Take the bad tooth out, put a false one in. Traveler, Paimon, do you remember Eric? Yeah, sure do. Then you can be my witnesses. To start with, please fetch the inmate who claims to be Eric. So, you're Eric?
Yes, head nurse. It's me. You do...
I need to do another examination on you. Same procedure as yesterday.
All right. It's the cognition test first, right?
Now, try to recall if you can. The last time we did this...
I believe it was...
Sai, phải chở là sai.
But that means...
Huh?
So, basically, last night, the Eric who said he saw another him suddenly recovered, and Sejuin did another test before letting him leave. But that time, she held up...
Huh? I don't know about any test last night. There was nothing to do in the observation ward, so I went straight to bed. Then I somehow woke up.
Well, in that case, there is a reasonable explanation.
So, what exactly happened?
The gang of serious offenders, last night, when Odilon was on duty, they ambushed him and had one of their group switch appearances. Then, once all the other inmates were asleep, Odilon, however, they made one mistake. Henri changed his appearance to match Eric's earlier than he should have done, and ended up being spotted by the real Eric. Real Eric came to the guards for help, but we didn't know then what we know now. So we put it down to hallucination. However, since one of the gang members...
Right, because I put Eric on the observation list by then.
Hence why the imposters had to pull that little...
Yeah, it all makes sense now. The dude cracked the case.
Well, I can't fault the reasoning. But I'm afraid that we ruled out the possibility of face switching very early on in this process.
Criminals altering their facial appearance to commit crimes is nothing new. In fact, one of the explicit duties of the Melazines in the Marechaussee Phantom is to identify criminals in disguise. We carefully examined all the suspects, and there is no evidence that any means of disguise were used in this case.
Huh. Well then, how do we explain all this?
So far, it seems more likely that the gang stole documentation belonging to the inmates due for release, and are using that to commit identity fraud.
Actually, there is a potion that can completely change someone's appearance. If they use that, even a Melazine wouldn't be able to detect it. A shape-shifting potion?
Forgive me, head nurse, but this is the first time I'm hearing about it. If such a potion truly existed, it would jeopardize our entire investigative process at the Marechaussee Phantom. Are you certain of this?
Yes, I am.
But...
Please, trust me in my professional opinion as an experienced clinician.
At the same time, without any solid evidence, it's pure speculation. If we can round up all the inmates suspected of switching places, then have a little talk with both sides, we might just get our answer. Yep, let's do that.
Okay. Well, it was our negligence that meant we had to come and conduct these post-internment interrogations. And I know it's put you out. We'll do it your way.
Your Grace, bad news. I paused the releases like you asked, but we were too late. A bunch of people already got processed 2 hours ago. I checked the list, and sure enough, it's all the people who gave statements.
2 hours ago? That's before today's interrogations began. They had this all planned out.
So there really was a switch after all?
We should be able to catch up with them if we leave now, right?
Not if that potion is real. They can just switch faces again after leaving the fortress. And if the Marechaussee's Melazines can't even spot them, we wouldn't know where to start searching.
Yikes! So we're at a complete dead end!
Well, technically there is one more lead we could follow up on. We were only able to arrest this gang thanks to the help of a researcher from the Fontaine Research Institute. I believe his name is Rawat.
Oh? Rawat? Isn't that the handsome guy we met at that skincare promotion?
Handsome? Maybe from a human point. One of the crimes, at first, he thought it, thanks to his report, we were able to swoop in and arrest them all in one go.
What a hero! Bet that took courage on his part.
No doubt. This is worth following up on. As the one who snitched on them, it's highly likely that Rawat will be targeted by the escapees. That aside, since he's negotiated with them in person before, there's a chance he'll have some additional information for us.
Understood, Your Grace. My team and I will head to the Fontaine Research Institute right away. In the meantime, please keep an eye on the face switch victims for us.
Of course.
Miss Morgan, I'd like to come along and help you catch these criminals.
Huh? Why's that?
Well, I'm the one who discharged the fake Eric last night, so I feel partly responsible.
Don't say that, head nurse. Your focus was on the inmates' health, and rightly so. We can't ask you to help with arresting criminals. That's our duty.
I also have a more personal reason.
Look.
Don't worry.
You say that.
If I may, Miss Morgan, Sigewinne is the one who raised the potion hypothesis, and I'm sure she has far more expertise on the topic than your team. My suggestion would be to bring her with you. And if you really are worried for her safety, then... Ah, there you go, right on cue. Knew I could count on you.
Okay. Well... Greetings. Sorry to impose, but I'm afraid we're here on urgent business, and we're gonna need you to cooperate.
The Marechaussee Phantom. Let me guess, you're investigating some more legal research?
Not this time, no. We're looking for a reason.
He actually doesn't...
Just a hand.
Well, I guess he gets... But in all his time...
That's so weird. He definitely didn't come across like a recluse at that product promotion. I don't find that weird at all. He definitely didn't strike me as the kind of guy who's, good at... Really? Paimon couldn't tell.
Okay, we should talk with his acquaintances.
Sure thing. We'll go ask around among the other researchers with Sigewinne. Paimon's suddenly kind of curious to know what everyone... Excuse us.
That's me. What?
Are you close friends with Rawat? We're trying to find out
Close friends? I should have known, really. Men like him, they just enjoy being served.
Okay.
Why would I know?
This is getting annoying. Shall we go ask someone else? I think she knows Rawat better than she cared. Maybe, but she's displaying symptoms. It's curable. Oh, we're still no closer to finding Mr. Rawat. Oh, by the...
Danger? Wait, why are you looking for him again?
Oh, that's right!
What?
Oh, I see.
Okay, but this is purely... I heard she raised him.
Oh, okay.
Nope, sorry. When I told him I had a crush on... Unbelievable.
Looks like her love syndrome is... We need to find out Mr. Rawat's mother's address. Let's check with the Marechaussee officers when we recruit. Cool, sounds like... Hey there, are you in Keith?
What do you want?
about reports?
Close.
Huh?
It's been a good few days.
With the...
Yeah.
Okay, now...
Most of the other researchers, but I'm studying. I bought his product, don't get me wrong. But despite that...
Huh, so his reward... Well, it doesn't look like we're gonna get any... wait, 1 second. Mr. Antip, next time...
Huh?
Đánh cái giữa học bài.
But a momentary distraction.
Sorry to bother you, sir, but are you Bertram?
Who's asking?
Just some concerns.
Not anymore, we're not.
Oh, yeah?
The thing, you won't even let you work with him unless now that I've got my own
So that's what we'd still like to know where to...
Wait, you're...
Wow, turns out Citrine's got...
Thing is, I have, but if you want my advice...
Peddlers?
Yeah, back with the little I overheard.
Drugs?
Who knows? I never cared to...
Thank you.
Welcome.
Well, that's all 3 researchers. Let's head back to the meetup point. You know, Paimon started out thinking Rawat was a handsome researcher with a friendly and cheerful personality. It's such a surprise to learn that his peers have a different impression of him. So, what's your view of him now, Paimon? A handsome researcher whose difficult upbringing turned him into a profit chaser with a chip on his shoulder? So your thoughts about his appearance haven't changed at all? Well, his looks are kind of a big deal. At least in Paimon's opinion. How did such a handsome guy end up being so antisocial? Even with his difficult family background, it just doesn't make any sense. You can't judge a person solely based on their appearance.
Head nurse. Traveler. I assume you've spoken with the researchers. What did you find out?
Bertram mentioned Rawat's involvement with some pharmaceutical merchant. Do you know if he's registered any pharmaceutical brands?
Since he was a whistleblower on such a huge case, I ran a background check on him. I don't remember there being any brands under his name.
How strange. If he was so focused on commercializing his research and averse to sharing his technology with others, why wouldn't he have registered his own brands? Maybe he and his business partners needed to avoid public scrutiny?
You think he may have colluded with the gang? Well, the crime was manufacture and sale of drugs. And that would certainly be in his wheelhouse. We can't rule it out.
Isn't that pretty unlikely, though? He was the one who blew the whistle on them! Most children who come to me with tooth decay...
I saw him when he came to make his report, and I certainly didn't get the feeling that he was the type to collude with criminals. Perhaps it's more likely that they were coercing him. You mentioned that he comes from a poor family. So, it's possible that the criminals approached him, asking for academic support, luring him in with the promise of riches. By the time he discovered who they really were, he was in too deep. They had leverage on him, so he was forced to keep working for them. I've seen it happen many times before.
That does make a lot of sense. It would definitely explain why he was so unwilling to cooperate with his fellow researchers. No wonder he's so unsociable. He must be on edge all the time with a gang of crooks breathing down his neck. In that case, the situation could be worse than we thought. If Rawat was working with the escaped inmates, they're sure to know more about his whereabouts than us. Oh, there's a good chance they'll get to him before we do.
Based on the information we've gathered so far, he was last seen 2 days ago. If no one's seen him since, maybe we're too late.
2 days ago? So he went missing right after that product promotion.
That was the same day he reported the criminals, too. Not a good sign.
Don't worry, everyone. I believe we still have a chance. Since he disappeared right after blowing the whistle, it's likely that he's gone into hiding. Yeah, he must have been worried that they'd come for him.
All the more reason to find him as soon as possible. The only lead we have at the moment is his mother's house, which you mentioned earlier. Seath, think you can find the place?
Yep. When you register a brand, the Court of Fontaine requires you to provide a legal address. The one Rawat wrote down was in the outskirts of the city. That should be the place.
Okay, then there's no time to lose. Let's move.
Đến chỗ quá.
All right, this should be the house. I'm pretty sure this was the address.
Okay, I'll knock.
Sounds like whoever's inside has restricted mobility. Oh, it seems serious. Oh, what's the fastest way to break the door down?
No. Calm down. Deep breaths. Remember your training. Control your strength. And... it's open.
Seath, take a few people and lie in wait. Keep your eyes peeled for any activity around the house. The Traveler, head nerd.
Oh, there. We could try, but she is very ill.
Well...
Yep. Hello, ma'am. Might I ask if you're Rawat's mother? Hard of hearing, perhaps. Does anyone have a picture of Rawat?
I have one here.
I'd like to show you a photo, ma'am. It looks like this isn't gonna work out.
Well, looks like we're out of leads. If Rawat's not here...
Is it possible he could have avoided returning here because he knew he'd be in danger?
Maybe. But if so, where do we look next? Maybe we should take another look at the Institute.
Yes, so.
I suggest we all return there now. We found a good amount of useful information the first time, but perhaps there's something we missed. This is our last hope.
Sorry, officer, but could I stay?
Of course.
Also,
why is that?
if Rawat knows how serious his mother's condition is, he will return.
Got it. Okay, I'll tell...
Thanks for helping me out yet again, Traveler and Paimon. No problem. But when you say her condition is serious, do you mean... Yes. Let me take care of a few things first. Yeah, of course. I can tell that her family has tried a lot of different treatment methods, including some very expensive medicines. Unfortunately, her condition is so multifaceted that a recovery looks all but impossible. Seedring. Paimon bets being a nurse must be pretty tough at times like this. Yes, it makes me a little sad. In Melizine's eyes, a human's birth, aging, sickness, and death are as much a part of natural law as sunrise and sunset. But human medicine can... But it was only after I truly became a doctor that I realized miracles don't always happen. Even the greatest doctors cannot cure all diseases. Don't worry about me, Paimon. A doctor's duty is not to cure all diseases, but at the very least I can lower her fever. Yeah, all the more Oh, her fever is getting worse. Sure, we're on the case. I'll take care of her. Found the hot water? Sure did. And look what else we found. Judging by this journal, it seems like Rawat has a private lab. There's a good chance he could be there right now. We gotta go tell Officer Morgan right away. Oh, that's great news. But hold on just a moment. The wet towel is ready. I'm giving you another injection. Are you feeling better now? It's all right. We'll go bring him back. Please hang in there. Thank you.
Xin chào bạn heo 962. Bạn vào live kênh tìm ăn sớm.
It's Officer Morgan! They're already here!
We came as soon as we heard the news. I can't believe we were so careless.
Don't blame yourself. There's a mechanical door over here!
It's open. Let's go in.
Floaty, floaty!
How did they get in here? Captain, up ahead! Those look like our fugitives!
So they found this place too? Don't let any of them escape!
Wibbly wobbly!
Want to take my hammer? Another test subject. That tingle ring!
Be sanctified.
That tingle...
Settle down.
Picked the wrong test subject.
Captain, according to our list, many of the fugitives aren't accounted for. There may be others hiding deeper inside the facility.
Ah, so these guys were just...
The Marashose Phantom! How did they find this?
Wait, it's that guard from the fortress!
That's right, I'm on your side. I mean, the Duke sent me. What's the matter?
Mr. Odilon, didn't I tell you a few days ago that you need to stop all field work?
Well, you know, gotta help.
Officer Morgan, this man is an imposter. The real Mr. Odilon has no recent help.
What?
Looks like the head nurse was right about the face-swapping method. Arrest them all! DuPont, stay here and keep guard. And watch the exit. If we're not back...
Got it.
Tranh tù nhân đã bị bắt lại.
Silence!
So many jars. Was this some sort of production facility? The scent. It's probably the used to make butterfly dew. How come they're all empty? Did it sell so well that he ran out of supplies?
How strange. Why would Rawat choose to manufacture a popular product like that in such a difficult-to-reach location? Given our suspicion that he may have been coerced into the illegal drug trade, I would have thought that any production facility we find...
Perhaps butterfly dew is itself an illegal drug.
Do you have any evidence for that claim?
No, just a guess. We need to find Rawat as soon as possible. He has all the answers.
Understood. Well, let's not linger here. Let's go. Come on.
Come on. Yêu quân người ta nói là không chết.
Doesn't look like we're gonna get this door open. Let's find another way around. Huh? This one's closed too! What's with those carts and tracks? Oh, maybe it's one of those doors that opens when it senses cargo passing through. There's a loaded cart right over there. Let's bring it to the door and give it a try!
Sao nữa?
Floaty floaty! I swear, it's for medical research!
Yeah.
Cat! Don't slip! I see everything!
The tide's beckoning. Justice is blindsided.
chào bạn Phương Phạm.
This room's much smaller than the others. Judging by the implements on the table, this looks like a potion-making lab.
Head nurse! Over here.
Let's see. Huh? Robot's clothes? Why would he change here? Perhaps they stripped him down, left the clothes behind, and disposed of him somewhere else? Yikes, Seedween, where did that come from?
Oh, what a tragic way to go. Especially with such a bright future ahead of him.
There's a path leading further on, Officer Morgan. Let's keep looking pacing.
Chạm tối.
There's a whole bunch of people in there.
Are you serious? You're telling us that within a day, our faces are going to rot like yours?
Fontanian physiology changed dramatically after that great flood, and it's not as compatible with this face-changing solution as before. The side effects are as you can see.
Why didn't you say anything before we all used it?
Look, my plan got you all out of prison, didn't it? You'd have much bigger problems to worry about right now if the Marechaussee Phantom found out about your other crimes.
You're just lucky we didn't leave you in there after you disappeared on us with no warning. We only let it slide because we're former partners. And now you have the gall...
Partners? Make no mistake, each of us is only looking out for himself. If you place too much, you hid things from me too. Remember how you each had a spare potion? You kept quiet about it until we planned the prison break?
Oh, and you didn't have a secret spare? Then do you want to explain how you melted your face off before all this?
Guys, that's enough. Calm down. It is what it is. Arguing won't change anything. What's the plan, Parton? I'm assuming you brought us here for a reason?
There is no plan. We followed him here on the promise of more juice. But it turns out there ain't a drop here. Besides, what does it matter now,
I said enough arguing! Parton?
Are you kidding me?
Well, there is another option. But you'll have to make a deal with me first.
Okay, now we're talking.
I have a document I took from that researcher that details how to make a replacement. Just give me one bottle of the undiluted fluid, and I'll get to work. What's the problem? I thought you always kept reserves. Or do you really just have one spare bottle each?
What do you think? That we were shipping them into the fortress of Meripede by the basket load?
Well then, say hello to never showing your marred faces in public again.
I've heard enough! Get him! Let's see if that document even exists!
Freeze! Marechaussee Phantom!
What? Who let them in?
Officer Morgan, before anything else, please find out Rawat's status.
Rawat?
I don't see him. Hand over the hostage now, if you want any chance of avoiding an extension to your sentences.
Spare us your condescending attempts to coax us back to ourselves. You think we're looking to negotiate? Rawat is dead.
Parton?
Arrest them all! Don't let anyone get away!
An oversight on my part. When the tide comes in, I shall return.
Take the Temple of Wisdom. Wibbly wobbly. He might feel a little
Gì kia?
Another test subject.
An oversight on my part.
Dám quýnh cả thẩm phán.
Let the mighty be humble.
Have a little taste. Settle down.
An oversight on my part.
Everyone hold hands.
The tide's beckoning. Silence! A silence fills the air.
Inazuma shines eternal! Illusion shattered!
Ready, steady, and go! Don't be nervous! Just relax!
Gotta say, I never expected to see the head nurse in combat.
Some patients respond better to a more aggressive treatment plan. Did we get everyone?
Captain, we finished the head count. Potten's missing.
Over there! The door's closing!
One group trying to arrest me, another trying to hunt me down. Good. I gotta kill two birds with one stone.
How did he get up there? There must be a secret passage.
Don't waste your energy. I already sealed it off.
How naive. We have more people outside. If we're not back out by the agreed time, they'll come to us.
Well then, you'd better hope it.
There's some kind of gas leaking from the pipes. Be careful, it's
This is our distribution center, where we store the product derived from our source solution. We had to use special. The pipe network here was designed to emit a gas for firefighting. One little.
Why would you do this? Your partners are here.
Oh, please. They can't supply what I need. They're of no further use to me. Besides, I can't have them exposing my potential whereabouts.
He's a maniac! Come on, we gotta find a way to open.
Go ahead, struggle in vain. Once they'll.
Are you sure you're ready to leave, Potten? You haven't changed your dressing today.
You can't hear my face. Just give up.
And what if I could?
Nice try. You're just trying to stall me. Don't you worry about me. I'll find a way to cure my face once I get out of here.
Oh, I doubt it. After all, Fontanians can no longer dissolve in primordial seawater. The key component of the face-changing potion is the fluid left behind by dissolved Fontanians. It might look like ordinary water, but it has some unique element before the flood. All Fontanians were Oceanids. Physiologically speaking, the potion made from that fluid could dissolve and reconstruct the face of a Fontanian, in much the same way as hydroidolins change form. Theoretically, it could give someone any appearance they wished, but since the flood, Fontanians have become true humans. They can no longer provide the source material for this potion.
Are you saying this potion is made from Fontanians dissolved with primordial seawater? Then
how could you know all of this? No, wait.
It also means that I have a formula you're unaware of. The air's getting thicker. It's getting hard to breathe.
I might get to make a deal today after all. Alright, keep talking. How do you intend to give me the formula?
Oh, it's not a formula, but a finished product. I have a bottle of it right here.
What?
When I tried your Watt's skincare product, I noticed it had a certain special component in it. So I had my friends gather some other ingredients for me, and sure enough, I'm guessing his skincare lotion contains the fruits of your joint research.
Huh. Impressive guesswork. Yeah, we were a supplier for some of the raw ingredients. But it only contains a tiny amount of the active ingredient. The effect is minuscule compared to...
Well, I found a way to reverse the dilution process, giving the skincare lotion a similar effect to the fluid.
That's impossible.
If I tell you some of the ingredients, I think you can figure it out. First, you need to combine tainted hydrophantasm tissue with
tainted hydrophantasms and transoceanic pearls.
So, can we make a deal?
Sounds good to me. There's a delivery pipe underneath this window. Drop the potion in, and I'll release you all.
Nope, not trusting you that easily. You're like those naughty kids who try to hide their illness. Open the sluice gate first, then I'll hand you the potion.
Even if you're not bluffing, your potion won't cure my face permanently. You really think you have any leverage here? I'm not closing the valve this time. Clock's ticking.
Fine, then I'll just stand here with the potion in my hand. And when I faint from the poison, I'll drop it and it'll be destroyed.
No.
It's open!
Disable that sluice gate! Jam it!
That's more like it. In that case, a promise is a promise.
Head nurse, there's too much poison gas in here. We have to leave, now.
Let's go.
That was too close. That button is a real nasty. Oh, don't be too quick to sit down. Moving around a little will help relieve the soreness. Same goes for you, Traveler.
Flying fast is pretty tiring too, actually. Anyway, that's not important right now. I'm still shocked to learn that there's a whole criminal operation going on.
Shame I ended up giving the improved version of Pauten after finally making it for you.
No, please don't. Paimon doesn't want to use that stuff anymore. Yeah, Paimon.
Head nurse, I've done a final head count of our team and the criminals. It's a shame that we didn't find Rawat. At this point, I'm afraid he's...
What a horrible bunch. Especially that Pauten guy. If he hadn't made good on that deal, we'd all be dead because...
No, we wouldn't. I always keep a whole bunch of antidotes on me for emergencies. And one of them neutralizes that poison gas. We'd have been fine, even if...
What? Then why did you give him...
If this is true, I must concur. If he changes his appearance and flees Fontaine, it's unlikely that we'll ever find him. No matter how cooperative.
No, you don't understand. I gave him the potion precisely so we could be
What do you mean?
Oh, we gotta hurry. She won't last much longer.
Đến nhà của bạn nào đó. Có công khi nào là
Don't move a muscle. I might be short, but I pack a mean punch. Captain? You're just in time. While I was lying in wait, I spotted this crook snooping around, trying to find a way in. So I detained him.
Oh.
Are you... Potton?
What?
This is how Potton looked before his face was marred. His current appearance matches the mugshot on his arrest.
Wait, so what's going on? Wasn't the whole point of the potion to disguise himself and escape Fontaine? Why would he...
Enough of this nonsense. Let me...
You better pipe down. There's an old lady in there who's very sick.
Heck with it. Listen to me. I'm Rawat. That's my mother in there.
He's gotta be lying, right? Rawat was a victim in all this. He was forced into it against his will.
Forced against his will? Heck, when I was being coerced, everyone thought I was colluding of my own free will. And then when I actually became a criminal in my own right, you all suddenly thought, amazing what a difference a handsome face makes.
Save us the speech.
You want an explanation? Fine. I'll tell it how it is. When I was just Potton, the whole world treated me with contempt.
Ew. What do you want? Get away from...
Women despise me.
Collaborate? You don't look like much of a researcher to me.
My peers scorned me.
Mr. Potton, was it? I'm most interested in your research. Consider my offer carefully. I doubt you'll find other investment opportunities.
Only villains would work with me.
You want out of the game? Forget about it. Turns out, I slipped up a little. Left your picture with some marechaussee phantom officers. So I suggest you put any thoughts of running away to rest. If you get caught by the guards for being in the synth business...
There was no way out for me. Until I could stop being Potton.
Mr. Rawat, I have something I'd like to tell you.
I became popular with women.
This new potion you developed is fascinating. Genius, in fact. Would you consider working with me?
My peers looked up to me.
I'm very interested in your research, sir. You must no doubt have offers from countless investors.
And the villains even began to fear me. Becoming Rawat showed me what a superficial world we live in, but I did not hold a grudge. After all, this superficiality could be made to work in my favor, or so I thought. But alas, Mother, I'm back. How are you doing?
Who are you?
I bought the best medicine Mora could buy, but nothing would cure her illness. In the end, I hoped she'd at least be able to see her son one last time before she passed, but when everyone else rejected me, the only person who cared about me was my mother. Then, when I became a rising star...
I have to let her see me again. Even if it means donning my own wretched, ugly face. Well, is that enough explaining for you? Now,
have you ever considered if you'll even be able to look? You found a way to completely change your identity. You could...
Why would I want to give up on such a lucrative business? The profits were dozens of times that of the synth business.
So you kept being a villain just for the money?
Villain? By what standard? Is doing evil deeds really what makes someone a villain in your eyes? Or does it all come down to the way they look? None of you saw a villain when I was wearing my other face. You have no right to judge me. You're all just fake people living in a hypocritical world. I regret nothing.
You're a villain to the core! Honestly, I don't see a villain when I look at your current face either.
Don't humor me. You don't seem surprised by my confession in the least. How long have you known the truth?
I didn't know anything for sure until you chose to take that potion bottle and spare our lives. But if you're asking when I started suspecting you, I had to confirm my suspicions. That's...
Are you kidding me? A young, promising researcher and a wretched criminal? What on earth?
Well, there were no visual clues. This potion's face-changing effects are very powerful, but I believe I understand humanity a little better than most of my kind. Humans have some...
Fundamental qualities, huh? So you think you're the one who's seen through me, do you? Most people probably don't know this, but I think you said yourself, didn't you?
Seedween? Yes, you're right.
I'll bet it was back in the days when Melazines were discriminated against because of their... It was either carry on living in the gutters as part of an alien race, cast out by... So you see...
That's not important right now. You came here to see your mother, didn't you? Well, I can grant you your wish.
Huh?
Head nurse, I'm not sure that's a good idea in his current state.
Don't worry. Back in the warehouse when I traded the potion for him, he was willing to risk sacrificing his only chance of escaping capture by opening the gate in exchange for the potion. Also, he could see his mother again.
I see.
So before you arrest him, please allow him to see his mother one last time. The Traveler...
All right. I understand.
Mom? It's me, Cotton. Your son. Mom, what's wrong?
I'm sorry, but I have some bad news. I examined your mother last time we were here.
What?
Your appearance no longer has any bearing on her ability to recognize you. But there are always other ways to remind our loved ones.
No, it can't be. Please, Mom, open your eyes. It's me, your son. I've done so much to get to this point. Please. No.
The temperature of his palm must have changed. I'm sorry. It seems I couldn't bring him back to you after all.
It's you. Thank you.
Of course.
Mom, why will you answer her?
No more questions, Cotton.
Mom?
I'm sorry to say this, Cotton.
The wait is over, everyone! The sale of our new skincare product, Romaritime Essence, will...
Another skincare promotion! And it's selling as fast as last... Oh, Seedween's here too! Hey, Seedween! Oh, travel... Of course! Nurses are actually... Nope, there's nothing. Besides, after consulting Miss... Wow.
Thank you for serving as our consultant, head nurse. All the butterfly do...
Great! Good job!
Also, you mentioned after he saw his mother for the last time, it was like all his mental defenses came crashing down. He put up no resist. Apparently, the formula was something he discovered by chance while helping the criminal gang produce synth. Later, he came up with the idea to dilute. Their supplier was Vache. But you could also argue that they were the ones doing him a favor. It made for a seamless collaboration. One man's trash. What?
Vache again, huh? Is there still no end to the...
Make no mistake. The crimes of Vache and his accomplices will... Since the flood cut off their supply of primordial seawater, they've been forced to resort to riskier methods. Like using their private reserve to attack people on the street. Now, after receiving numerous reports, we were able to zero in on the gang.
That sounds more like it!
Based on what he told us in his confession, we pretty much had him backed into a corner. He tried to throw us off, but there was...
So he tried this looking at the...
Yes, even so.
I understand. Why did you want them anyway? Cotton was once... Why used to... Let me be true.
One last thing, head nurse. Please keep everything you know about this potion a secret. It would be for the best if most of Fontaine knows nothing of its existence. I know my fellow officers and I will be able to sleep easier if that's the case.
Of course. Not to worry.
Thank you for understanding. I'll take my leave then.
So, Siegween, did you really use... Why do you sound so... yes, but... I know. Before I tell you, though, could you follow me somewhere? I want... Of course! Nervalette and Risley, they're here too!
Good to see you, traveler. Paimon. I trust all has been...
Big news, everyone. The Udex is out of his office.
Is that...
Why wouldn't they? Important.
Ah, yes, you're quite right. When someone you care about, after reading the Mara...
Take note. That my...
So the old friend she mentioned... Oh, sorry. Paimon didn't mean to be rude. It's only because
I doubt she considers that title to be offensive,
Indeed. In fact, I believe Siegween would take... In those days, many people...
Wow. It's really nice of you two to be...
Younger colleague. Siegween served a sentence in the fortress of... Strictly speaking, the head nurse has been around longer than most...
She served a sentence?
Yes. Long before I became Udex, there was an ancient law in Fontaine that prohibited any attempt to transform another species into a human. Initially, I and most researchers believed this law to have been imposed due to ethical concerns. But now, it seems more likely that the law was nothing more than an insurance policy, a way for Egeria to ensure that her people would remain insulated from the truth, thus enabling them...
Ignorance is bliss, as they say.
Siegween had her reasons for choosing to obtain a human form, but the act was nonetheless in clear violation of the law.
Could you tell us a little bit more about what happened back then?
Certainly. Siegween does not object to her close friends learning about her history. In fact, I first learned of it myself.
Even with their daughter so ill, they kicked you out? Stubborn as always. And prejudice isn't a disease I can cure either. Shame that I don't have the energy to get over there. You're laughable, you old witch. You want to save everyone in Fontaine.
Master, what are you...
I discovered a strange disease. One I suspect that every Fontainian suffers from. But without witnesses or... I had no choice but to experiment on myself to find a cure. But I hit a wall. And as you can see, it took...
Then, I'll find a cure for you. And then you can go cure her.
There's no need. But... As I said before, a doctor's duty is to treat whatever ailments they can.
I know. But they don't trust me at all.
That girl.
I'll do whatever it takes.
Even if it means breaking the law and being punished for it?
As long as I don't hurt anyone. Yes.
Then I shall make one more final gamble. And see my experiment. If I am able to work this miracle, then I will have found a way to save all. If not, then it means there is one more disease in this world that I cannot treat. I will leave you a parting gift. An accidental discovery happened upon through my study of this strange disease. It has...
When Siegween returned, the miracle had not occurred. She found a potion bottle and a note on the table. After using the potion as instructed, she gained her current form, breaking Fontaine's law in the process. And after I had confirmed the veracity of the events...
So that's what happened.
I fear Sigewinne only understood the full story after the truth about the dissolution of Fontainians was uncovered. When I reflected on all this with that knowledge in hand, I felt a deep sense of regret. As I use the law to uphold justice, there are times when I cannot help but acknowledge it. After the final details of the events surrounding Sigewinne's transformation came to light, I checked several sources and, thankfully, the legal code...
Wonder how she feels about it.
Since she invited you here, I imagine she intends to speak of these matters with you, no?
You're here. The old friend I mentioned was my teacher. When she passed, her body was nowhere to be found. All that's left of her is an empty tomb.
Sigewinne, the witch who gave you the magic potion, she was your...
Sounds like Monsieur Nerf.
After learning the truth, it must have been hard to process, huh?
Well, to be honest, after I realized what really happened that night...
But she was planning to sacrifice herself and never told you.
That's just who she was. If lying is what it took to get a kid to take their medicine, then that's what she'd do.
Alright, but why did you turn yourself...
I broke the law, simple as that. My teacher made her choice, and I made mine.
True. It's just the way Patton framed it when he was asking you all those questions. You're not like him at all, and everything Neverlet said confirms that. And yet, you were still convicted and thrown in prison. It just feels so unfair.
Unfair? I happen to think just the opposite. If I hadn't served that time, I'm not sure I would have been able to...
Well, what makes you say that?
I knew you'd be curious. Let me tell you a story. The verdict came down. This Melusine is guilty. The Iudex defended the authority of Fontaine law, but he did not confiscate the Melusine's medical kit. And so, the fortress of Meripede gained a new little doctor. She still wore her hood and raincoat, even though it never rained in the fortress. Perhaps thanks to her human appearance, no one refused her treatment. She treated more and more patients, and her sentence grew ever shorter. Finally, the people of the fortress could not live without her, and though her sentence ended, she did not leave them either. Then one day, she received an invitation from the outside world. The location seemed familiar, and when she arrived, an old lady was waiting for her. She saw right through the Melusine's disguise, but didn't reveal it. Instead, she asked a question.
Tell me, why do you think you gained the respect of so many people, despite being a Melusine?
Because I look like a human?
It's been 50 years, Sigewinne, and you haven't aged a day. I think everyone knows you are not human. I finally found you, after all these years. I still remember, you know. It was you who saved me that night.
But how? I was no longer a Melusine by then.
Does it really matter if you're human or Melusine? I remember the warmth of your palm. It's quite unmistakable. And you know what? It hasn't changed one bit. You don't have to hide anymore, Sigewinne. These days, Everyone wants to make friends with Melusines. And I think that it's all because of you. I'm sorry I couldn't say this until now, but thank you, Dr. Melusine.
Now that's an ending Paimon can get. After hearing everything Potton said, I wanted to tell him that it didn't matter who he looked like on the outside. But it was too late. I tried to treat him, but the roots of his problem had nothing to do with his face. I understand. Thanks, you two.
Oh, it's nothing.
Oh, there's one more reason I invite. In order to restore the appearances of the face-swapping victims, the Marashose Phantom gave me...
We don't need it, though.
Well, even if you...
Well, fair enough. Still, Melusine physiology... After all, from a Melusine point of view...
Paimon...
What was Paimon thinking?
Leave it to... I'd like to stay here with...
Emily. Còn nhiệm vụ Emily ngày mai mình sẽ làm. Cốt truyện ấn tấm rồi.
This realm is...
If you ever... If you're not sure what to do next, how about I take you on a walk?
Ủy văn
Fry wasn't done. Fry. Going somewhere? The perfect distance to the barrier.
Go.
Fry! Fry! I did the wrong subject. The perfect distance! Finally, this will end you ruin. Going somewhere? To the berry.
Có chiến thắng đầu tiên. Cái vấn đề
This will do! This will end you! This will do!
biết chơi trả thù. Nó bằng giá tù.
Fall before me! Going somewhere? This will end you! Fall before me! You ain't cut down this fight. Finally, to the fairy.
Yes. Đội hình đã bất bại. Xin lỗi không.
This will do! The perfect distance! Cut down! Going somewhere? Finally,
Where do you think you're going?
my blade! Perfect distance! To the fairy.
Kim đó. Chết tôi. Thua rồi.
Goodbye.
But we'll meet again.
End you! Going somewhere? This will do! Finally, you cry! Cry!
Con chuyện công chính như vậy. Cha bản đạo của kênh.
The perfect distance!
Fry! Finally,
Going somewhere? The perfect distance!
fall before me! Finally, you will.
I wasn't done. I wasn't done. I wasn't done.
The perfect distance! Going somewhere? The perfect distance! It's a fairy!
Flowers in Gurama! Flowers in Gurama! Flowers in Gurama!
Goodbye.
We'll meet flowers in Gurama! The eternal oasis of love!
Going somewhere? My blade! To the very... You're open! You're open! Perfect distance! My blade, Harry! I wasn't done. Going somewhere? Finally, to the very end.
somewhere? Finally. Try. You're open. Picked the wrong test subject. Going somewhere? To the ferry. No. The perfect distance. To the ferry. Going somewhere? Ha! To the very end.
Một lần nữa đạt được mừng.
You're open! You're open!
Going somewhere? Ha! My blade! The perfect distance to the very... Finally, no. To the very... The perfect distance! Going somewhere? The perfect distance! To the very...
Finally, no.
Where do you think you're going?
To the ferry. Going somewhere? Finally,
Where do you think you're going?
The eternal oasis is wrong. The perfect distance! My blade! Finally,
Where do you think you're going?
We'll meet. The perfect distance! Going somewhere? Bloom
perfect distance. To the ferry.
Where do you think you're going?
Let's end this now.
Goodbye.
Let's end this now.